Big food, big pharma, and the mass media controlled by our government is keeping you in a perpetual state of fear, a state of survival. But it doesn't have to be this way. You can lead a life led by spirit, connected to the divine, and it all starts by consciously tapping into your emotions, developing a sense of emotional intelligence, and activating the energy centers within your body so that you can lead a life of prosperity, abundance, and be the master of your destiny. So today we're talking about how to go from that survival consciousness that is within the 3D into the divine self. To move from our ego to our divine self. Some may say the little s self and the big S self. In Western philosophy, they often refer to this as the unconscious and the conscious. And this all happens through activating the energy centers in our body. We understand that at our root, this is our connection to the physical world. This is our connection to the labels and the judgments that we have upon ourselves. It is our I amness. This is where your socialization comes into play. Because you have these inherent labels and judgments upon yourself that you then assign to the world. If you look at yourself as an accepting person and you accept yourself, you're going to accept others. But if you judge yourself, if you judge yourself hard and you don't accept yourself, you hate yourself, you're going to project that onto the world. So today we're talking about how to move from this I amness, right, into knowing. From having these addictions, obsessions, and compulsions into finding unity with other people, unity with the world, unity with ourselves and God, and embodying and aligning our purpose. So where does this start? We understand that the lower 3 chakras, the root chakra, the sacral chakra, and the solar plexus chakra are associated with the 3D world. They're associated with our ego. So our ego is associated with being, with feeling, and with doing. And there are various different emotions and activities that go along with these. So the being, the root, what grounds us in physical reality is our identity. This is who we see ourselves as. And like I said, the way you see yourself is the way that you see the world, right? So your addictions are rooted in what you see yourself as. You see yourself at the mercy of the world. If you are addicted to things, if you are obsessed with things, you're obsessed with something physical. You are obsessed with an idea that you've created within your mind. Or compulsions, and often this has to do with your sexuality, compulsions within your sexuality and your inability to control your sexual urges. This is often associated with the root chakra and our misunderstanding of our place in the world. So when we put a sense of consciousness into this, we can begin to reprogram the identity that we have associated with ourselves in this physical world. And I have more videos on my channel about that. So if that's something you're interested in, you can check out my channel and subscribe there and understand how to realign the labels that you have for yourself. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're moving up next to feeling, associated with our sacral chakra. Now, our sacral chakra is where we feel emotions. You ever get a gut feeling? That gut feeling is happening within that second energy center. And there are low emotions, low vibrational emotions that are often associated with this, right? When you're in fear, when you're super afraid, you get this gut feeling. That's your energy center, your sacral chakra activating because you're living in this survival-based consciousness, right? Because the lower chakras are all activated in every being, every dog or dolphin or elephant. Like physical beings all have energy centers, and likely they are activating these lower chakras. So the identity, the beingness that we have is the same beingness that a dog has. Like a dog gets the zoomies and it runs around because that's just its nature. Right? So it's embodying the fact that it's a dog, it's feeling excited, and then it's doing and expressing in the physical world. And we enact our unconsciousness in the same manner. So when we say, oh, my label that I have for myself is I am at the mercy of the world, or maybe I'm not enough, right? And then I feel insecure, right? Here we have insecurity is the first label that keeps us stuck. Then what may I do? I may post like a slutty picture online if you're a girl. You know, you might post a picture of you in a bikini and you might feel shameful about it, and then the fucking cycle just continues. So we have to understand how our unconsciousness manifests from our identity into our feelings and into our actions. So within this feeling, we have these negative emotions or low vibrational emotions. They're not quite negative because they keep us alive. Thank you for fear because it made us run away from saber-toothed tigers back in the day. Thank you for shame or guilt because it makes us not do the things that don't serve us. Maybe you won't take a picture of your pee-pee and post it online anymore because you felt shameful about it, right? So these are simple these emotions are meant to serve us. And our unconsciousness, when we experience them, makes us feel no greater than them, at the mercy of them, which is why we can't move into higher levels of conscious awareness. So different emotions that are associated with the sacral may be insecurity, fear, lack, guilt, shame, apathy, right? These are associated with feeling. And when we're associated with feeling, it is emotions that are going to be much lower on the scale of consciousness, and I have more videos on that as well. Check out David R. Hawkins' map of consciousness, and there's a lot of great information there from his book Power versus Force. But moving up into doing of the solar plexus, this is more going to be associated with action. The solar plexus is associated with action. So our identity, our feelings, and then our actions are associated with the lower chakras, right? So the lower chakras, this being the solar plexus, is any feelings associated with this are going to have to do with the inability to act. Anger, frustration, hatred, judgment. These are feelings or actions associated with the inability to act, right? We might be angry because of something that occurred, something somebody else did. A physical occurrence or something that we did, we might be angry at. We might be frustrated when something's not working. What's my biggest pet peeve that gets me stuck in survival state? I hate when shit doesn't work. Oh my God. If I'm on a website and it's supposed to be loading and it's not loading and I have 5 bars of Wi-Fi, I'll blow my brains out. I'm pissed because I'm stuck. My solar plexus is just, why is it not doing this? I'm getting stuck in this lower energy center, right? Now, loving, the heart center is where it all flips. And most people are stuck. They're stuck in these lower energy centers. They don't have anything they love to do. They work 9-to-5 jobs. They watch Netflix at night. They're in relationships with people that they argue with. They just can't break out. And that's probably why you're here, because you might feel like you can't break out. But let's break out together. So find things you love to do. It's honestly simple. And I just made another video about doing things you love to do because it's pretty freaking easy. So just find things you love to do and you'll begin to activate your heart center. Find people you love talking to and talk to them. Find something that you love to do. Make pottery or go on a run. Exit this survival-based consciousness and begin to leave the 3-dimensional physical world behind when you begin to step into love. Now, this is when we can step into compassion, when we can see other people, right? And there's something that I can make another video about, but the 4 levels of care. Being pity, being sympathy, feel for you, being empathy, and then being compassion. This can be a whole other video. But next we have acceptance. Just accepting yourself, looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, wow, like, you're pretty cool. I like what you do. I like who you are. And then you'll be able to do that with the world as well. And this moves us up into divinity, into time, space. We didn't even get into that yet. But now, as soon as we can activate our heart center, what we can do, we can play with the higher the higher chakras, the higher energy centers. And these ones must be aligned to access higher awareness, but these don't necessarily all need to be aligned to access all the way up through unity and purpose, which is at the crown. But we'll speak through them. Funny enough, the next one is our throat chakra, which is corresponding with speaking, right? And it is about our self-expression. It's about our authenticity. It's about being able to share, right? Now that we have things we love to do, we want to share about them. We want to share about ourselves. We want to be transparent with ourselves. This may have to do, and you might be able to program and tap into your throat chakra by writing, by singing is super powerful. Singing, writing, speaking, going to therapy, right? So these are different ways that we can begin to activate this energy center and start moving into higher levels of awareness, right? Now, we have the third eye is the sixth energy center. The sixth energy center is associated with seeing. What do you see in the world? What do you see? Is it clear? Is it foggy, right? This is our vision for the future. When we can cultivate an activated third eye, we can begin to see our past clearly, but we can also begin to see the future clearly. And something that's super powerful is the human body, the human mind, the intellect. The third eye is your ability to time travel. You can travel to the past, you can travel to the future, and by activating your third eye, you can see both clearly, much more objectively, less through the ego. So as we move into these spirit-led, higher pieces, higher aspects of awareness, we are not associating so much with ego and survival. These are in prosperity, right? So now we're tapping into our intuition. We're trusting ourselves. And that's a key aspect of your awareness as well. To see the world in the right way, you need to trust your own awareness. You need to trust yourself. Right? You can't doubt yourself. You can't doubt your vision for the future if you want to create something. There mustn't be any doubt. There can only be belief. Jesus says, have faith and ye will move mountains. So move some fucking mountains. Have some faith and see it to be done. Now, the last one is crown. You're moving up to your crown chakra, the last energy center where you connect with the divine and build this wonderful spiritual being that you are. And this is our connection to unity. This is our connection to you. This is my connection to you, right? As we begin to activate this there's the seventh energy center, I should say. We are developing a connection with God. We are unifying ourselves with God. And as we activate all of our higher energy centers, we begin to see the world as a reflection of ourselves. We begin to see ourselves and other people. As I look into your eyes, I can see myself, right? Symbolically and literally. Because the eye is a mirror, right? If you look into somebody else's eyes, what do you see? You see yourself. So, this allows us to connect with our purpose as well when we begin to activate this energy center, and it's associated with knowing. It's associated with knowing this vision that we may have for the future to be done, and ultimately what this does is it brings it back down into our ego. So when we speak our truth, when we see our truth, and then when we know our truth, when we change our reality, when we decide that we know our reality's changed, it then circles back into what we're being in our connection. Because it's not that these are any separate, and these are just as important as the higher centers are. So what these are associated with is the three dimensions. They're associated with three-dimensional ego-based consciousness that is stuck in space and time. And to move through these, we are moving through space and time. And as we move our body through space, time passes. As we move through space, time passes. Now, when we step into higher levels of consciousness, higher levels of awareness, we are moving beyond 3D and into 4D or 5D. We're moving into higher consciousness, higher planes of reality where time and space are not space and time. We're moving to time-space. What does this mean? Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this. It means that as we move through time, space passes through us. So when we decide to change our reality, when we with love are acting every day and decide to have a vision for the future and speak that future into existence, we don't have to wait so long. Some people go to a 9-to-5 job and they're stuck in space and time. And quite literally, their reality feeds that back to them. They work an hourly wage. They have to go to work for 8 hours to get a paycheck, right? No. You don't need to do it that way. You can get paid for your value. You can get paid above time. You don't have to move through space to get a paycheck. That's not how it needs to be, right? When you find things you love to do and you speak your existence, you speak your dream reality into existence and begin to see it done, money will flow to you. Abundance will flow to you when you know it to be true, because then you embody that and your I amness, your identity shifts. So when you shift your identity is when your reality changes, because your personality is your personal reality. So by activating our energy centers consciously, we can begin to reprogram who we are so that we can lead a more divine, high-dimensional life. We're moving out of the 3D. See here, we have the cube symbolically, right? You're stuck in the fucking box. You're stuck in the box, the matrix, working for a paycheck, working for somebody else, making their dreams come true. Make your fucking dreams come true. Break out of the box. Break out. It's not like it's some complex, as I say, it's not some complex. I got all these words on this board, but it's super simple. It is super simple. Find the things you love to do and do them. Find the things you love to do them. Speak about how much you love them. See yourself doing even more things you love to do, and know yourself to be worthy of those things, and your identity will shift. Your feelings will shift and your actions will shift. This is a cycle, right? The infinity sign is a powerful tool. In the same way, we start down here, but it feeds back in, right? It starts at our identity, it moves up to our feelings, up to our actions, up to our love, up to our words, up to our what we see, up to our truth. Now we embodied our truth, which is our knowing, and it comes back down, right? Now it comes back down to our identity. So shift that. Begin by balancing these lower centers. We can create more videos on it if that's something you guys are into, but I create all sorts of videos on consciousness, on spirituality, on self-realization, emotional intelligence, and how to go from this survival consciousness into spirit-led consciousness. Because you're a spiritual being. You're a spiritual gangster. So keep being a spiritual gangster, keep creating, keep loving, keep doing. Much peace, so much love. Namaste. We'll talk so soon. Watch one of those next videos down there because I've got tons of them.